Martha Wangari Karua was born on September 22, 1957, in Kimunye Village, Gichugu Constituency, Kirinyaga County, in Kenya's Central Province. She was the second of 8 children in a modest, hardworking family. Her parents, Jackson Karua and Josephine Wanjiru, were farmers who valued education and discipline, qualities that would later define Martha's personal and professional life. Growing up in rural Kirinyaga, Martha learned early lessons in resilience, integrity, and self-reliance. She often helped her parents on the farm while excelling in school, a balance that would become symbolic of her future as a lawyer, reformer, and politician who blended intellect with action. Martha began her education at Kabare Girls Boarding School for her primary studies and later joined St. Michael's Girls Secondary School in Kerugoya. Her academic excellence earned her a place at the prestigious Kenyatta High School in Mwea, where her leadership skills began to shine. In 1977, she joined the University of Nairobi to study law. At the time, very few women pursued law in Kenya, making her entry into the field both bold and groundbreaking. She graduated with a Bachelor of Laws (LLB) degree in 1980 and later attended the Kenya School of Law, where she obtained her postgraduate diploma in law, qualifying her to practice as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Her educational background not only laid the foundation for her legal career but also introduced her to activism and leadership. While at university, Karua developed a deep sense of justice, fairness, and human rights, principles that would guide her for decades to come. Martha Karua began her legal career as a district magistrate in various courts across Kenya, including Mokadara, Nakuru, and Kibera law courts. However, she soon became dissatisfied with the limitations of the judicial system under the repressive one-party rule of President Daniel Arap Moi. She left government service to establish her own private legal practice, Martha Karua and Company. Advocates, in 1987. In private practice, Karua earned a reputation as a fearless, principled, and outspoken lawyer. She specialized in human rights and civil liberties, often taking on politically sensitive cases that others avoided. She represented political detainees and activists during the 1980s, including Koigi wa Mwea, Mirugi Kariuki, and other pro-democracy campaigners who were persecuted under Moi's regime. Her legal work placed her among Kenya's foremost advocates for democracy, the rule of law, and women's rights. She became an active member of the Law Society of Kenya, LSK, and the Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDE Kenya, where she championed reforms in marriage, succession, and property laws affecting women. Her courage in standing up to state power and her insistence on due process earned her the nickname the Iron Lady, a testament to her determination, independence, and unwavering commitment to justice. As the clamor for multi-party democracy intensified in the early 1990s, Martha Karua's activism naturally transitioned into politics. She joined the Forum for the Restoration of Democracy, FORDASELAI, led by Kenneth Matiba, which was one of the major opposition parties challenging Moi's long-standing rule. In the 1992 general elections, the first multi-party polls in Kenya since 1969, Martha Karua contested for the Gichugu parliamentary seat under the FORDASELAI ticket. She won, making history as one of the few women elected to parliament at the time. Once in parliament, Karua quickly established herself as a bold and articulate legislator. She was known for her intellectual sharpness, mastery of constitutional issues, and refusal to be intimidated by male colleagues in a largely patriarchal political environment. She used her platform to advocate for women's rights, constitutional reforms, and accountability in governance. Following her re-election in 1997, Karua joined Mwai Kibaki's Democratic Party, DP, then later became part of the National Rainbow Coalition, NAC, which successfully ended KANU's four-decade rule in 2002. After Kibaki's victory, Karua was appointed Minister for Water Resources Management and Development. During her tenure, she spearheaded major reforms in the water sector, introducing policies that emphasized decentralization, efficiency, and community management of water resources. Her focus on transparency and service delivery earned her respect across the political divide. In 2005, Karua was appointed Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, a position to define her legacy. She played a central role in initiating the constitutional review process, strengthening judicial independence, and promoting governance reforms. Her tough stance on corruption and her insistence on the rule of law sometimes put her at odds with her colleagues, but it reinforced her image as a leader of integrity. The 2007 general elections plunged Kenya into post-election violence after disputed presidential results between Mwea Kibaki and Raila Odinga. As Minister for Justice and one of Kibaki's most loyal defenders, Karua was part of the government's negotiating team during the Kofi Annan-led peace talks that ended the violence. Her role during this crisis was controversial. While some credited her for her firmness and professionalism, others criticized her for defending a government accused of manipulating the election. Nevertheless, she was a key figure in brokering the power-sharing deal that led to the formation of the Grand Coalition government, with Kibaki as president and Odinga as prime minister. In April 2009, Martha Karua resigned from her position as Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, citing frustrations and lack of support from within the Kibaki administration. Her resignation was widely interpreted as an act of principle, a protest against interference in her efforts to reform the judiciary. She returned to her role as a backbencher in parliament, continuing to advocate for constituency under the NARC Kenya party. Her campaign emphasized the rule of law, anti-corruption, women's empowerment, and social justice. Despite running an issue-based and disciplined campaign, she faced the challenge of limited resources and the dominance of ethnic-based political coalitions. Karua finished sixth in the 2013 presidential race but remained a significant moral voice in Kenya's political discourse. She continued to champion good governance and the rights of women and marginalized communities. In the 2022 general elections, Karua made a major political comeback when Raila Odinga selected her as his running mate under the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition party. This historic decision made her the first woman in Kenya's history to be nominated for the position of deputy president by a major political coalition. Their campaign emphasized unity, integrity, and inclusive governance. Although they lost narrowly to William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, Karua's candidacy was hailed as a breakthrough for women in Kenyan politics and a powerful statement about gender equality. Martha Karua is known for her principled, no-nonsense approach to politics. She consistently advocates for constitutionalism, accountability, and gender equality. Her critics often describe her as rigid or uncompromising, while her supporters see her as one of the few incorruptible leaders in Kenya's political landscape. Her commitment to women's empowerment has inspired a new generation of female leaders. Through her political career and mentorship, she has paved the way for women to take up leadership positions in politics, law, and public service. Awards and recognition over the years, Karua has received numerous accolades for her contribution to democracy, human rights, and gender equality. She has been recognized by organizations such as the Law Society of Kenya, FIDA, and international human rights bodies for her courage and reformist spirit. In 2022, she was named among the BBC's 100 Women of the Year, celebrating her enduring impact on Kenyan society. Martha Karua's legacy is one of integrity, courage, and unwavering advocacy for justice. From her days as a human rights lawyer defending political prisoners to her role as a cabinet minister and presidential candidate, she has consistently stood on the side of reform. She remains a symbol of hope for women and reform-minded citizens who believe in ethical leadership and the power of conviction. Whether in or out of government, Martha Karua continues to influence Kenya's political and social trajectory, an enduring example of what it means to lead with principle. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.